Hey folks, so this is another old format video. This is going to be, it's actually a fairly long video. Again, for the amount of work that's done, it seems like it took a really long time for not a lot of return. But yeah, this is like 2.5 or 3 hours worth of video that I recorded it in a different format. Again, being iterative, I'm trying different things. And that noise, by the way, was my dog going out through the dog flap. But so this is me doing the whole video, not in time lapse, and then in post production, I went through and then made it into a time lapse video. I'm not doing it that way again. That took forever. Basically, it's a couple days. Ended up being like 2 hours of videos that I then had to like squish down to, a reasonable 15, 20, 30 minute video, whatever it comes out to be. I don't actually know at this point. And it took. I spent like 6 hours on this, so I'm not doing that again. Anyways, so here we go.
Okay, well, all right, well, here we are out here again, continuing to work on all the things. Today I'm going to be focusing on doing more drilling and getting more into, again, making this look like an actual wing. I do have a hard case now, or cover rather, for my plans, which is nice, and it will allow me to put all of the plans in here. You can get these off of Amazon for like $11. So sweet. Alrighty, more drilling.
So this was the first time that I actually used the Bluetooth mic. I've got it on my collar, and I really think it sounds like crap. So I am now going to a third audio solution, and I have a digital audio recorder with a lavalier mic that is on its way and sounds much, 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 much better. So that'll be better.
Well, got a lot of drilling to do. Going to be doing a match drilling of all the number 30 holes, and there are a bunch of them. And then I've got to match drill the number 40 holes that are in the flanges. There are a bunch of those too. So thankfully I've got this sitting out here in such a way, just kind of sitting on this wood, so that I can easily do this stuff. I need to ponder my permanent mount, though. Not sure in what form that's going to take, but I mean, this has got some weight to it, so it needs to be pretty robust. And I think over here I need to move this off the end of that, because this board is just an overhang, so it will eventually warp. Wings are big. Wings are very, very big. I need to ponder a way to make it so that I can attach them to something but still move them around. Yeah, gonna have to think about that. Anyway, these holes ain't gonna drill themselves.
So as you can tell, I've sped this up significantly. I've left the sound running in the background just because I thought that was kind of interesting. You can actually hear it. I'm just playing more than anything. But there's a lot of holes, and I sped it up. You've seen me drill holes before. There's nothing magical here. I go through and I drill all the holes, and then you'll see me move all the clecos one slot over, then drill all the holes again. So you're going to do a lot of this. So I had someone the other day ask me if I was going to make a Patreon campaign or have some way for people to invest or say thank you or contribute. And I really haven't given it deep consideration. I mean, I'm not receiving any sort of remuneration for doing this. I mean, I'm doing it mostly for fun, kind of learning how to make videos and learning how to do some of this interactive stuff. But it really never occurred to me to like finance this through some online pay per view system or whatever. It's kind of how Patreon works, right? You pay for content. And I think if I were to come up with like extra content, something that maybe was special or something, maybe, I don't know. I mean, right now I give everything away for free. It's just a lot of time. And it's something kind of cool because I like it. But I really hadn't planned on doing that. Still drilling. Drilla, drilla. Now, having said that, I'm not opposed to it. I mean, it is something that I would be willing to do. It would certainly help. I mean, I don't know, every dollar helps, but I don't know if it's, I mean, it's not, I don't want to impose. So leave comments down below if this is something you think I should do or if something that you want to participate in, or no, don't even bother because no one's ever going to do it. So I don't know. I'm just interested in your opinions. This is sped up, by the way, and I'm still drilling.
So I've gone through and I've done all the match drilling, the number 30 and the number 40 match drilling. So now I need to go through and it says to disassemble all this, deburr it, and then prime if desired. I'm not going to prime these. You don't need to prime this. You do need to prime this. I'm going to prime it, but I know part of this is going to hang down, so it will get repainted again later anyways. So we'll see. I am going to do this a little out of order. Instead of disassembling everything and priming and doing it and then putting it all back together, I'm instead going to do, like I'm going to do this one first so that I know this part stays with that part kind of thing. So I'm going to take this rib off, clean it up, completely deburr it because it's sharp right now. So a lot of rounding and deburring about to happen. And then assembling it, so then I will run rivets and actually finish this piece and then move on to this one and then move on to this one and then do the rest of them. So that's what I'm going to do now. And I believe we do not actually permanently attach them yet. Yes. So, cool. So that's what I'm going to do. There's a lot.
So I kind of wonder if there's such a thing as over deburring. I'm sure there is, as with anything, you want to do just the right amount. I spent a lot of time on each of these ribs, doing all the lightning holes, doing all the individual holes that go through all of the pieces, and it took a long time. You're going to get to see a lot of it. Yay. I don't know if it's too much, though. I had people come by after me and kind of rub a finger on it and say, did you deburr this at all? And I'm like, that is as deburred as it can get. I mean, I've taken all the sharp edges off of it. So I think your mileage may vary. Each individual has probably a different experience. I can tell you for sure it sucks. In fact, I talked to that here.
So deburring and cleaning up the aluminum, getting the burrs and flashing and all that other stuff off, is literally the worst part of this process. We had talked about what's the worst part previously, and I had said the weight was the worst part. Beginning to reconsider. It takes a long time to go through and remove all the flashing and clean up the holes and just generally make the metal the way you want it to be. It takes forever. And there's a lot of it, and you got to do it. So, one bite at a time. Ugh.
So I use that 8-inch disc sander quite a bit, disc grinder rather, quite a bit. It's very useful. It has those
Scotchbrite wheels on them. Pretty awesome. I never have them in focus. So just know when you see me standing over there in the corner, it's because I'm running that wheel. I have it on long cord, so you will see in some of the later videos I actually drag it out to the table out there because I have to run some long pieces across it and I need the space. But when I'm just working on little handheld stuff, it's over there in the corner. I'm not gonna bother repositioning it every single time. And again, you know what I'm doing, so I don't feel the need there. The rest of this is me using, or a lot of this right here is me using a Scotchbrite. They're like little scrubby pads. You can get them in a box of 100 or 200 for not very much, and they're very useful. I use them quite a bit. It's also, I believe, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong here, but it's also the thing that the paint, pre-paint, you'll use to basically scuff up the entire plane. You'll run that over the entire plane, which I have to admit will hurt my heart a little bit because I've spent a lot of time keeping it from being scuffed up, and so intentionally adding scuffs is going to be one of those moments that I'm not going to enjoy. So right here I'm going to start working on putting actual rivets in, and in the beginning I start giving you guys some info on how to rivet, and it's again not close.
So we're going to be doing a little riveting now. My squeezer, I have a yoke that I think it'll actually do some of them. It'll do about 5 of these holes, but there are 16 of these holes. So it's like, okay, I can set up the squeezer and do the 5, or I can just do all of them with the rivet gun and the bucking bar. Nothing wrong with that. So I'm going to place it, and I'm going to rivet it, and so that you play it with the audio so you can actually hear what it sounds like when I rivet. I think a lot of people are scared of riveting. Don't be. You've got a little dished area here on the end of this particular attachment for the rivet gun. I don't actually know what these attachments are called, but that's the die. I guess maybe die? I don't know. But it fits inside the rounded rivet, so you can see that it fits in there, so it maintains that shape. And then, of course, we've got this bucking bar. This is a tungsten bucking bar. It weighs like 3 pounds or something like that. It's really small, but it's really heavy, which is good. I like this one the best. I have like 4 different bucking bars, but this one is by far the best. The downside to this one is sometimes it's really easy to drop, and you do not want to drop it, because if there's anything below it, it's going to dent it, unless it's concrete. Then it's going to chip it, because it's heavy. So, but I just place the gun firmly against the rivet. I use my thumb and the bucking bar, or my finger and the bucking bar in this case, to make sure the piece is steady, and make sure that I'm lined up. Start ever so slowly, like so, and then give it a couple pops. I think I want to go ahead and put something on either side that keep that from moving. Just want to keep it from moving. Which that does not do very well at all. There we go. A little better, I guess. We'll see. And there you have it. You'll hear the way I do it is I start, you'll hear it real light, and I'm just barely pushing the trigger, ever so barely, and I don't think you're supposed to do that without having anything against it, but ever so slightly, and then I'll ramp it up, to actually get those final pushes. Those are the ones that are hitting. The initial thumping, I'm just using to make sure everything's in place. It's not actually doing anything. It's just thumping. It's so light when I'm doing that initial thumping. I mean, it's nothing. And then this does all the work, really, not this. So holding this at the right place does all the work of actually doing the shop head on the rivet. This just makes a lot of noise. So that's how I rivet. And we have a successful rivet. It's discolored ever so slightly from the head of the thing, but I mean it's still perfectly shaped. Shop head looks good. Win. Don't be afraid of riveting. It's not hard.
So I've actually been considering getting like glasses or something with a camera on it so you can actually see from my perspective. It's really awkward and time consuming to have to constantly unplug a camera, move a camera, re-aim a camera, focus it, set it up from time-lapse mode to normal mode, click play, just to record like a 5-second thing and then put it back. I only have 2 cameras right now. I've thought about getting a third one, but I'm not sure if I'm allowed to. And also it's, you know, it really wouldn't help unless I actually had like a head mount, you know, or something so that you could see from my perspective. I think that would be amazing. I think that would be something that would be very useful, but it is a technological limit that I have right now, and that I just don't have another way of actually doing that. Lots of me running around here doing stuff. The one thing I need to do, and I've actually done it already, but in the next several videos it's not done yet, is I've got like 4 feet of those boards just sticking off. I didn't want to cut them because, you know, I may need them for something, and I might have some other plan for having that wing spar, you know, movable or usable. I haven't figured out yet how I'm gonna build a jig to hold it. I'm still kind of fighting with those boards, but I have, you know, moved them so that they're equidistant on either side of the table. But you know, right now there's like 4 feet of board sticking off of one side, and they kind of get in the way. But eventually, the goal is to be able to have the one wing on one side, one wing on the other side of this table. And I don't know if that'll work or not. I'm hoping it will. I mean, there's a lot of times where you need to be able to get on multiple, you know, one side or the other side of the wing while you're working on it. And so I'm going to have to figure out a way to have that sort of access. And I know there's a way to build a very strong jig that I can just clamp it down the one end and it just hangs. But I don't know. You know, you spend a lot of time, effort to build a jig like that, and then it's like, okay, that's time I could have spent on other activities like actually working on the plane. I don't know. I am going to be out of town next week, so which doesn't mean anything to you because these videos are always in a weird, weird back in time sort of thing. But so there is going to be like a week and a half of time where I'm not going to get to work on the plane at all. And last week there was about 10 days actually where I couldn't work on it at all just due to weather. We got snowed in up here at the top of the mountain where I live, and so we were just kind of stuck, and there was just no going down there. Plus work, you got a life. Sometimes you got to work, and you can't get out there and do the things you need to do. But even today, I went out there and I spent 25 minutes on it drilling some holes in the wing because, every time you go out there, it's one less time you got to go out there. So got to try to knock it out as much as possible. But these videos are going to continue. So the next thing I want to talk about is the dark side of deburring. You have a lot of very sharp deburring tools that you use when you cut this aluminum. I mean, first of all, the aluminum itself can be sharp. When you're dragging that aluminum around, it's very easy to run it across your finger or something like that, especially in like the crease in just the wrong way. And if you think a paper cut is bad, try an aluminum cut sometime. It sucks. But not only that, you're dealing with very sharp tools, moving them around, and if you rake too hard or you grind too hard, it's very easy for it to slip off and go right into your hand. And so that's what you're about to see. I was reaming one of the lightning holes on a rib. It slipped and went right across one of my fingers and got a nice deep cut. I proceeded to make a Band-Aid out of some paper towels and duct tape. But now I have a full kit out there. But if you don't want to watch this, skip ahead 30 seconds or so. It's not that bad. But be careful. You can hurt yourself. This was unpleasant. I didn't like this. It hurt. But I'm okay. Ooh. Ouch. I'd also like to point out that while editing this video, I had to rewatch that scene probably 20 times now, and by the end of that, I feel it each time. Yeah, be careful, guys. It wasn't a mortal wound, thankfully, so I just got back to work once I used the duct tape and paper towel to make a Band-Aid. Like I said, I went out after this because the first thing I did afterwards, I looked around. I'm like, I don't have a Band-Aid out here. I had no first aid out here at all. On this particular day, I think I was on my motorcycle. My motorcycle, I don't have a first aid kit. My truck has a nice big first aid kit, but yeah, so I had to go and go to Walmart and get one of those nice big first aid kits that I now have out here. So I would recommend that, by the way. Get a first aid kit in your shop just in case. Which, again, if you're starting building this thing, most likely your shop, quote unquote, will be your garage, and so you'll have everything at home that you need. But once you move into a hangar, suddenly home is 15 or 20 minutes away, or however far away, and so things are a lot less convenient. But yeah, that sucked. So you've now heard all the places in this video where I had the Bluetooth mic, and I'll let you judge for yourself. Frankly, I think the Bluetooth microphone sucked. Just the audio quality was very grainy and just generally not good. And so, like I said previously, I have invested in a new microphone system with a digital recorder that I can wear on my lapel and have it in my back pocket. And it's not my phone, so it's not like crimping the cord, and there's a good chance that I won't yank the cord like I did previously while trying to fiddle with it, and the overall audio quality is actually excellent. So looking forward to getting the videos with those in it. Those are coming, and yeah, good audio is really key. And by the way, yeah, I did eventually start using a clamp on these ribs as I was riveting that piece, whereas in my earlier demo where I was showing you how to rivet, yeah, no clamp. It just kind of sat there because I'm an idiot. But what do you do? Do the best you can with what you got. And in my case, it ain't much. Woohoo! And so here I am continuing on, and I'm going to go ahead and cut the video short here because this goes on for a while. You've seen everything I'm doing. Each rib has to be pulled off. It has to be thoroughly deburred. It has to be, cleaned up and made usable. And the various ribs that have bits that hang off the end of it have to have those riveted on. So that's what I'm doing. I'm also right there, I'm tapping out a hole. So something I was supposed to do previously that I did not do. But anyways, I'm going to call it there. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.